Who's your emergency contact? Who should we notify in the case of death? Welcome to the USP, where I spent the last 2+ decades of my life. I know I've been slacking a little bit. Things I've putting up the videos and stuff. It's just been real hectic out here. You know, I mentioned that I participate in with this group called Day One Utah, and we go out and do things. You know, like right now, I'm over here at the Volunteer of America Center. I've never heard of it, don't know anything about it, but the homie hit me up this morning and said, hey man, we're gonna go down there and feed these kids over here at Volunteer of America. So that's where I'm at. And well, I'm just gonna multitask, you know what I mean? I record, document these things so that I can show you guys that what we're doing out here from Utah. But really, because the guys that are participating are dudes that are ex-felon that, you know, just came home from prison. Just, you know, someone's been out a few years, someone's been out a little longer. But, you know, everything that I'm doing always ties back to the penitentiary, whether it's helping dudes that are coming home or helping maybe prevent somebody from going. You know, I'm also in the process of getting a new tattoo shop. And my first hires are dudes that are recently released. They got skills and need an opportunity to get their life together. You know, but again, like I've said, like, you know, busters don't apply. No need to apply, because I just want straight up dudes, whether they're men or women, that have the same standards that I have, the same ethics. And, you know, the conversation that I've had with a few people that want to sign on is real simple, man. If you're serious about rebuilding your life, I got you. If you're over here thinking it's going to be this and that, then, you know, miss me with it. I ain't got time for it, you know, because I know how hard it is to get, you know, your life going out here. I'm experiencing it firsthand. But I've been fortunate and blessed more than most, because since I've been home, I've had a lot of people out here reach out to me. You know, one of the homies hooked me up with a ride, gave me one of his older cars. You know, some of the other homies came and dropped some money in my pocket. A homie showed up at my spot at 2 o'clock on the night that I got here and that I got home. It was like, man, I own these companies, this and that. I got you a job if you want it. You know, I've been working with that homie ever since. So for me to receive that kind of love, I got to find a way to give it back, pay it forward. But this is a welcome to the USP series, so let's get on with the story. Yesterday, I was at the house and I was talking to the homie. One of the homies had called me from the penitentiary. His name is Stutter Sam. And as you know, I mentioned him before. A clown, I mentioned him, but that's the good homie. He's a Chinese homie that went out there to Montana and robbed a casino. And they ended up getting time in Montana. He was like the only Asian in Montana. And then after he finished his state sentence, they sent him to the feds, and he showed up in that water where I was at. Now, he was one of the homies that knocked out Junebug from GD when we got a riot that jumped the riot off with the GDs. He was just in Florence about 6 months ago, so I haven't heard from him in about 3-4 months. And yesterday he called me from Pollock, and he's like, yeah, Pollock's cool, but it's active, meaning, you know, people getting chopped up over there, right? So, but you know, he had asked me about one of the other homies that called me, but he hasn't called me in a little bit. So I was wondering why this other particular homie haven't called me, and his name is Dennis. Yeah, I'm saying his name because, you know, as of right now, the respect and the relationship that I have with him has been dissolved, because, you know, I function with real dudes. And when people show me that they ain't that caliber of dude, or the dude that they portray themselves to be, once they get exposed, I can't hold on to any of that love or respect that I had for them, because the love and respect that I had for them was under false pretense. Well, anyway, the homie called me. He's like, "Hey, man, you function with Dennis?" I was like, "Yeah, that's the homie. That's good. He's that's a good homie." They were all over there in Atwater with us. He was over there with Dennis in Atwater too, so he knows him from over there. He's Filipino, got a life sentence, got 2 bodies. Now, the bodies that he got weren't within the penitentiary. It was for whatever case that he got that he's doing time for now, right? But he always portrayed himself like an old head, like a serious individual that's about his business and stuff. So when I met him in Atwater, that was the persona, that was the aura that he was giving out. And, people I meet with different races and stuff gave him that respect as if he was that dude. And really now, like, it's mixed feelings because, I'm putting the homie on blast, but he's not a homie no more. So fuck him. Like I said, I don't got no love for dudes that are pretending. So the homie Sam calls me yesterday, and he was like, "Yeah, man, don't fuck with that dude." I was like, "What's up, man? That's the homie." He's like, "Nah, man, he ain't nothing what he said he is." So I'm like, "What happened?" Well, they had a Korean homie that got jumped in the block in the unit by some natives. Like 3 natives jumped onto one of the Korean homies. Like I tell you guys, like we function with the Native Americans, the Asian Islander. When we was in Atwater, and even during my time in Florence, and almost everywhere I've been, I've always had a solid rapport with the Native Americans. But it turns out that that's just me. That's just me and on the other side, the Native Americans that was on that yard. We had a mutual respect and an understanding, and we even became friends. But that relationship is not official, where it's not standard, because every yard you go to, there's going to be different relationship depending on the people that's on the yard. And you're going to get some people that don't want to have an alliance. You're going to get some people that don't want to function, whatever, like different yards, different alliance, different politics. That's just the way it goes. When you think that the way you're doing one thing on this yard is going to transition to another yard, unless you're that dude that's able to build that relationship, it's not going to necessarily turn out that way. But I've always been a dude that was able to, build relationships and rapport with different people from different aspects, from different backgrounds. And during the time that I was in the penitentiary, people got to know me. My name and my reputation preceded me. Before I hit a yard, people already knew that I was coming already, So I guess 3 natives was jumping on this Korean dude, stomping him out. And Dennis had seen it, was there, walked by, and just went into his cell and let the natives punish the homie. So Sam and his cellie, Sam's Chinese, and his cellie is a Laos dude named Trigger from Florida. I ran into Trigger when we was in Lewisburg. He was a few cells down from me. We went out to rec. He was in a different rec cage with me. He was Eddie Sua's cellie. So, that's how I got to know him. I don't know anything about him beyond that, but everything I've heard about him throughout the system was that he's official. He goes hard. He's on the front line, and he's about his business. So I guess Sam and Trigger are cellies, and they hear the commotion, so they run out, and they get into it, and they're fighting the natives, helping the Korean homie that's on the ground getting stomped out. And really, the homie was telling me, he's like, "Yeah, man, like we saved his life," because when you're getting your head stomped out, it doesn't matter if it's like just a couple of stomps or 10 stomps. Like, you don't know what the number is or the impact is that it's going to snap your neck or crack your skull. I shared you a story before I came home two neighbors was stomping out this child killer on top of the stairs, and the stair cracked his skull and his brain leaked out. And now the homies they're in ADX facing freaking murder charge, you know. But back to my stories, like, you know, I got a lot of people that walk around pretending they're somebody that they're not, pretending themselves to be this person or that person. But I always say, you know, when you get put in a situation where you don't have the numbers, where you're standing on principle, the odds is against you, that's when you can tell who these people really are. Because it's easy to go on a mission when you're 3-4 deep on one dude. It's easy to cry about, you know, to be adamant about putting in some work or whatever when you're personally involved in it. But on principles, not a lot of people was going to risk their life on principle. And the reason is because they never actually believed in it. Because if you believe in it, then you're always going to ride on principle. Regardless the odds, regardless if you're going to win, and even when you absolutely know you're going to lose. When you stand on principle, the rest doesn't matter. You know? But so anyway, you know, for me, it's disappointing because, you know, I've known Dennis for a very long time. I was in Atwater with him for 7 years, and we had a really good rapport. But, you know, at the end of the day, man, if you ain't what you say you are, I'm not trying to fuck with you. But as you can see, the homies in the back, they're already here, so I'm gonna have to cut this video short. So I just want to share you just an update on what's going on behind that wall in the USP, man. Shit ain't stopped. And don't be faking, because once you faking, you're gonna get exposed, and that's it. Welcome to the USP.